Hello and welcome to Learn with Hema's class. My dear students, today I am going to explain a lesson from Honeycomb English of class 7, lesson number 3, Gopal and the Hilsa-fish. This lesson is based on the lines of comic style. Here the dialogues are presented in the form of bubbles with displaying pictures. Pictures always fascinate children. Many a times, merely by looking at pictures, we can understand the story, just as the one we can see after this lesson, which is about a stag. Well, coming back to this chapter, I shall provide you with the question and answers of the lesson at the end of the explanation. If you like my videos, please do like them, subscribe them and share them with your friends. So, let's start, children. Gopal and the Hilsa-fish. As I already said, this chapter is in the form of pictures. So we will try to read what this picture say. Now here, this picture shows that all the fishermen in the city are busy catching Hilsa-fish. Now Hilsa-fish, just as we have season of mangoes, season of strawberries, season of seasonal fruits or flowers which we always get in the market. The same way, fish, Hilsa-fish also have a particular season, and this is the Hilsa-fish season, whereby all the fishermen catch only Hilsa-fish. All the fishermen who sell in the market, they sell only Hilsa-fish, and all the householders who normally purchase fish to cook, they purchase only Hilsa-fish and they only talk about Hilsa-fish. So this is all about Hilsa-fish, Hilsa-fish, Hilsa-fish. So let's see. It was the season for Hilsa-fish. Fishermen could think of nothing but Hilsa-fish. As I said, just as we have a mango season, people cannot think of anything else other than mangoes. Here people cannot think anything else other than Hilsa-fish. Fishmongers sold nothing but Hilsa-fish. That means the people who are selling in fish in the fish market, they are known as fishmongers, and they sell nothing but the Hilsa-fish. That is, they sell only Hilsa-fish. Come, buy. The price of Hilsa is down today. Now, as we see the people shouting in the market to attract the audience or to attract the customers towards them. Same way here, the fishmongers are calling to the people, come, buy the Hilsa-fish. The prices have fallen today. And householders could talk of nothing but Hilsa-fish. Even the household people talked only of the Hilsa-fish. Now one lady is asking, how much did you pay for that Hilsa? The other man who is answering, you wouldn't believe it if I told you. That means, see here, one more thing you can pay attention is, here you have everything in the direct speech, right? The people are speaking. So there is direct speech is more used in such kind of comic style of writing. So here also this man says, you wouldn't believe it if I told you. And in the palace too, the courtiers could discuss nothing but Hilsa-fish. It is not only the fisherman who goes to the coast, or not only the fisherman who sells fish, fishmongers, or not only the householders who talk about Hilsa-fish. It is also the court, king's court, where everyone could talk only of Hilsa-fish and nothing else. So there is one man over here, Gopal. He is saying, Your Majesty, you should have seen the huge Hilsa-fish I caught. It was, and he was about to say something, but the king was so angry. You can see over here in the next picture, stop it. Now the king is very much irritated by everyone talking of Hilsa-fish, Hilsa-fish, Hilsa-fish. Now even you all must be getting irritated because again and again I am repeating the same word Hilsa-fish. So the king was also irritated the same way, and he said, stop it. Are you a courtier or a fisherman? Right, it was Gopal who said that I caught a huge Hilsa-fish. So king is asking him, are you a courtier or a fisherman? Anna, courtiers don't go to catch fish. So king is angry now. But immediately afterwards, when the king learned that he made a mistake, he felt guilt. So the courtier felt silent with downcast eyes. The king felt guilty. So the courtiers were silent then when the king shouted. So they all kept their eyes low down. I am sorry, I lost my temper. It is the season for Hilsa-fish. and no one. So the dialogue is incomplete, therefore you can see over here. So king, when he feels guilty that he has done the wrong thing by shouting at the courtiers, he said, I am sorry. Of course, when you are guilty, you should say sorry. So king did the same thing and he said, I lost my temper. He lost his temper, मतलब अपने गुस्से पर काबू नहीं पा सके. And it is the season for Hilsa-fish and no one, not even Gopal, can stop anyone from talking about Hilsa-fish, not even 5 minutes. So king is irritated. Why? Because not even Gopal, is one of the most trusted courtiers, just like we have Akbar Birbal. Right? Birbal is a very nearby courtier of Akbar. Akbar always loved Birbal and he always tried different ways to make Birbal puzzle, but Birbal always came out with good solutions. Same way here it was Gopal. So the king says that not even Gopal can stay away from that Hilsa-fish. Even he can't stop himself talking about Hilsa-fish, not even for 5 minutes. That means even only for 5 minutes, if you can stop about it, then I'll think. Oh, I think I could, your majesty. Now see, the Gopal takes a challenge. When the king says, not even Gopal can stop. So now the Gopal takes a challenge. I think I can, Gopal says. Oh, I think I could, your majesty. So your majesty is the respected name used for kings. Then let me see, you buy a huge hilsa and bring it to the palace without anyone asking you a word about it. Now the king is throwing a challenge before Gopal. What the king is saying? Okay, let me see, you buy a huge Hilsa-fish and no one should talk about that Hilsa-fish, and you bring that Hilsa-fish to the palace. But no one should dare ask you about that fish. Can you take this challenge? So here Gopal takes the challenge, just like Birbal takes all the challenges. I accept the challenge, your majesty. So Gopal accepts the challenge. A few days later, now Gopal has accepted the challenge, but not immediately the next day, but a few days later, what Gopal did was, you can see from his dressing, why is your face half shaven? It's the Gopal's wife behind and she is asking Gopal. You can see the Gopal's face half shaven and half beard, right? I am dressing up to buy a fish. Gopal is saying I am dressing up. आधी दाढ़ी कभी किसी की देखी है? आधी दाढ़ी में कोई बाहर जाता है घूमने? नहीं, शॉपिंग करने वो भी गोपाल जाने वाला है. So I am dressing up to buy a fish. What's the matter with you? Wife अभी भी बेचारी परेशान है, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. What's the matter with you? Why are you smearing yourself with ash? Ash मतलब राख. वो राख को आधी दाढ़ी पे लगा रहा है ताकि वो दाढ़ी और थोड़ा सा और मतलब गरीब दिखे. वो क्यों लगा रहा है? Why he is smearing his face or the half side of the face with that ash, so that he looks more poor and nobody could recognize him as Gopal and everybody would laugh at him. And what he did is, I told you I am dressing up to buy a Hilsa-fish. Now with half beard and applying all the ash on its face and beard, and he's saying, Gopal is saying that he is going to buy a Hilsa-fish. Listen to me, please. You can't possibly go out in those disgraceful rags. What are you up to? Disgraceful, that means does not looks good. Okay, does not looks good, shabby, untidy, not at all cool when you look at something. You can see the picture over here, Gopal, how he has dressed himself with all rags. फटे पुराने कपड़े पहने हुए हैं. How many times must I tell you, women, I am out to buy a huge Hilsa-fish. Now, but naturally, if you are going to go for shopping outside, you will definitely wear a good dress. And if you wear some shabby dress, everybody will tell you, hey, what kind of dress you are wearing. Even when you will go out and whether you purchase a diamond, they will look at your dress and not your diamond. The same way here also, the Gopal has dressed himself. Can you tell me why? Why Gopal have dressed himself like this? Of course, yes. Gopal has dressed himself like this so that he could distract people from talking about Hilsa-fish. Now, this was his trick. Let's go ahead. It's happened to him. He's gone mad. Now the Gopal's wife, she's thinking that Gopal has gone mad. Gopal bought the Hilsa-fish and started walking towards the palace. Now you can see there's a fish in Gopal's hand, but there is no man around him talking about the Hilsa-fish. Mother, look at that man. Isn't he comical? Comical मतलब मजाकिया. जोकर नहीं लग रहा है? जोकर जैसा लग रहा है ना? कितनी हंसी आ रही है उसको देख के. So everyone is looking at the attire, at the looks of this Gopal, and no one is taking into notice about the Hilsa-fish. We can see through the pictures also, we can understand. Other people also talking, he must be a madman. One person says, another says, hush, I think he is a mystic. Mystic means a mystery man. So people are talking about him, his attire, his looks, and not about the Hilsa-fish. Again here also. Now when Gopal reached to the palace courts, when Gopal reached the court, what do you want? One guard asked. I want to see the king. Gopal answered, I want to see the king. You can't see the king. Get away with you. तो उसका अटायर देखकर ही गार्ड ने बोल दिया कि तुम किंग को क्या मिलोगे, भाग जाओ यहाँ से. Get away with you. Gopal began to dance and sing loudly. So Gopal did not went away. Instead, he began to dance. You can see the picture over here. He started dancing and singing loudly. And inside the palace. Now when he started dancing and singing outside the palace, his voice could be heard inside. And the people talking about him, those things could also be heard inside. So the man is crazy. Someone says the man is crazy. Then some other person says, throw him out at once. फेंको उसको उठा के यहाँ से. Someone else says, I want to see the king. Let me in. No, this is Gopal speaking, right? I want to see the king. Let me in. Bring that man to me at once. King hears all these conversations, na? So king says to his guard that bring that man to me at once. मेरे पास लेकर आओ, वो मुझसे मिलना चाह रहा है ना? Yes, your majesty. So the guard says yes. The guard goes and brings that man. Gopal was brought before the king. Now some of the courtiers recognized Gopal. They said it's Gopal. Here also in the palace also none of the people have paid attention to the Hilsa-fish that Gopal had in his hand. The man has lost his mind. I think it's one of his crazy jokes. Now the other courtiers who are jealous of Gopal, they are talking. I think this man has gone mad, or I think it's one of his crazy jokes. Maybe Gopal must be cracking jokes most of the time, and therefore these people are saying that it may be one of his crazy jokes. Alright Gopal, out with it. That means now tell me what's the reason why you are like this. The king is asking, why you are dressed up in this ridiculous fashion? That is ridiculous. That means no one would love to watch that. Your Majesty, you seem to have forgotten something. Gopal reminds the king that Your Majesty, you seem to have forgotten something. The king something strikes to king, forgotten something. Now, strangely enough, no one seems to be interested in Hilsa-fish today. From the market to the palace and in the court, not a soul has spoken a word about Hilsa-fish. So, now the Gopal reveals the truth. So, no one till now from the market to the palace and from the palace to the court, no one ever noticed about the Hilsa-fish, and everyone was talking about me and not the Hilsa-fish. So, Gopal kept his promise, the challenge that he had accepted from the king, that not only 5 minutes, he had made people not talk about Hilsa-fish about more than 5 minutes, or you can say more than an hour also. Only then did the king remember the challenge he had thrown to Gopal. Now the king remembered, oh yeah, I had put a challenge in front of you. So king started laughing at his own challenge. Ha ha, well Gopal, congratulations. You have achieved the impossible once again. So king is happy that his courtier Gopal have proved himself that he is the best, and the king also said that he was the best and he has achieved the impossible once again. Impossible means people not talking about Hilsa-fish was impossible. That means people are always going to talk about Hilsa-fish. And what Gopal did was, Gopal exactly did the opposite. He made people not to talk of Hilsa-fish. Instead, he made people to talk of him. So this was a challenge where Gopal passed. And this is the end of the story. Now we shall go forward with the question and answers. So just stay tuned. I'll be there with the question and answers in a moment. So our first question is, why did the king want no more talk about the Hilsa-fish? So answer, the king did not want any more talk about the Hilsa-fish because it was the season for Hilsa-fish and no one could stop talking about it for even 5 minutes. He was getting annoyed with all the talk about Hilsa-fish. The next question. What did the king ask Gopal to do to prove that he was clever? In order to prove that he was clever, Gopal was asked to buy a huge Hilsa-fish and bring it to the palace without anyone asking anything about the fish. What 3 things did Gopal do before he went to buy his Hilsa-fish? Before he went to buy Hilsa-fish, Gopal half shaved his face, smeared himself with ash and wore disgraceful rags. Next question. How did Gopal get inside the palace to see the king after he had bought the fish? After he had bought the fish, Gopal reached the palace and told the guards that he wanted to see the king. When the guards did not let him in, he began to dance and sing loudly. When the king heard this and also the comments of the people watching the man sing and dance, he asked for the man to be brought before him. Explain why no one seemed to be interested in talking about the Hilsa-fish which Gopal had bought. Solution. No one seemed to be interested in talking about the Hilsa-fish which Gopal had bought because of Gopal's ridiculous appearance. Some people found him comical, others thought he was a madman, still others thought he was a mystic. They were so engrossed in discussing his appearance that the Hilsa-fish went unnoticed. Now, true or false? Okay, let's do the true or false. The king lost his temper easily. True. Gopal was a madman. False. The answer is, he was just acting as a madman so that people's attention would be diverted from the Hilsa-fish he was carrying. Okay. The third one. Gopal was a clever man. True. Gopal was too poor to afford decent clothes. This is false. He wore rags so that people would notice them and not talk about the Hilsa-fish. The king got angry when he was shown to be wrong. False. The king laughed and congratulated Gopal for achieving the impossible yet again. Change the following sentences in the story to reported speech. The first one has been done for you. How much did you pay for that Hilsa? The woman asked the man how much he had paid for that Hilsa. Why is your face half shaven? Gopal's wife asked him why his face was half shaven. The answers are here. Gopal's wife asked him why his face was half shaven. The next one, I accept the challenge, Your Majesty. Gopal told the king that he accepted the challenge. I want to see the king. Gopal told the guards that he wanted to see the king. Bring the man to me at once. The king ordered the guard to bring the man to him at once. Find out the meaning of the following words by looking them up in the dictionary, then use them in the sentences of your own. So first let's start with challenge. Challenge, these are the sentences directly given. Every difficult situation should be taken up as a challenge and not be run away from. Mystic. The mystic from the Himalayas had great words of wisdom to share with the villagers. Comical. Everyone appreciates the comical side of a man. Courtier. Birbal was Akbar's most trusted courtier. Smearing. Smearing the forehead with tilak is one of the traditions of the South Indians. साउथ इंडियंस को नॉर्मली हम देखते हैं जो फोरहेड पे अपने वो वाइट कलर का तिलक जैसा ऐश जैसा कुछ रहता है पाउडर्ड फॉर्म में, वो लगाते हैं, उसे हम बबूती भी कहते हैं. Okay, now we have to complete the following ladder with the help of the clues given. The first one is mother will be very dash if you don't go to school. So if you don't go to school, mother gets angry. So the another word for angry is cross, CROSS. As soon as he caught dash of the teacher, Mohan started writing. Now that will be strict, STRICT. How do you like my dash kitchen garden? Big enough for you, is it? So this will become tiny, TINY. Third one is tiny. Fourth one, my youngest sister is now a dash old, year old, YEAR. Fourth one. Fifth one, standing on the dash, he saw children playing on the road. You can see fifth one is roof, ROOF, roof. Now sixth one, don't make such a dash, nothing will happen. So fuss, FUSS. Don't cross the dash till the green light comes on. So street, STREET. The answers are here again: cross, sight, tiny, year, roof, fuss, street. So with this we end the chapter's question answers also. I hope you enjoyed the chapter. I'll surely and soon come with the next lesson. Till then, stay safe, stay secure. Thank you.